Honourable members, you'll notice by the clock that I have taken some liberties today with the schedule. In fact, this section would be reserved for ministerial statements. There are no ministerial statements today. However, based on precedent in this House, this would be the appropriate time for us to do something else that is rather unique and very special. As you know, notice has been requested so that at this time we might pay tribute from each of the caucuses and perhaps others who might wish to join in to one member who is retiring as an honourable leader of a particular caucus and a particular party in this assembly. The honourable member for Edmonton Highlands Norwood has announced that he is resigning as leader of the New Democrat opposition effective October 1924. That means that when the House normally is scheduled to convene, which would be the last Monday of October, he would return not as the leader, and so this may be one of his last final days as leader, and the House has indicated a desire to rise and pay tribute to him. Before doing so, I would like to personally say thank you for 10, dare I say it, outstanding years of service on behalf of your constituents. Honourable member, thank you for the passion and the humour that you have brought. I wish as Speaker I could have allowed more of it to surface. However, we'll see how that goes. Let us begin our brief tributes. Let me call upon the Honourable Premier of our province to begin.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I must say it's with a great deal of pleasure that we honour not only the service of the member from Highlands Norwood as leader of the official opposition and as a member of the House, but particularly today as leader of the official opposition. But a great deal of pleasure that he's announced his retirement as well, because he is a very effective leader in this House, and he has served very, very well. Now, of course, Mr. Speaker, I'm being facetious when I say that we should celebrate his retirement from that position, because in essence, it makes the House work really well when you have good leadership on all sides. And I would say that the service of the honourable member has been such that he has helped this House work really well during his term of leadership. One of the things that the honourable member, I think, understands better than many is that you can have disagreement with respect to policy, you can have intensity in your discussion, but you can do it in a very respectful, most of the time, and an intense way, and you can still be friends in doing it. And I would like to say, and I hope he nods when I say it, that I have had the privilege of being his friend since our university days. People have heard the stories about how he got cheap rent in our fraternity house. Always one looking for a bargain. And I must say that we have over the years had the opportunity to spar on public policy issues and on strategies and on process. I mean, I used to tease him about being a communist, and he used to react appropriately. And he said nasty things about me as well. But we always did it in good humor. I think I can recall at university where we ran campaigns, or at least worked on campaigns, him campaigning in favour of the National Union of Students, and I leading the campaign against the National Union of Students at the University of Alberta campus. And that privilege of being on the opposite side of intense and important debates has been extant ever since. The honourable member has brought wit and humour to debate. He has been able to take the intensity of a debate and soften it with a good jab, a good comment, something that brings a little levity to it, and that has always enhanced our debates. So, Mr. Speaker, it's a great deal of privilege that I have the opportunity on behalf of our caucus to say thank you to Brian to the member for Highlands Norwood for the services he's provided to Albertans and to this House. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also say thank you to Karen. And I think the reaction of the House was evident in terms of we know just exactly how much she's put up with over the years. I'm not so sure that some of those doors that she was knocking on, she wasn't actually looking for him to try and drag him home. And I'm not sure that she would agree that he actually improved their quality of life by getting a job in politics as opposed to what he could have earned in his previous job. But nonetheless, the whole family, because family is important in this job, and all of us in this House know what a sacrifice it is for our families. We choose to put ourselves in the public eye, and sometimes that's not as pleasant as it might be. But it's our families who wear it. It's our families who feel it. It's our families who hurt when the arrows are cast. And they don't often get the good parts of it, the satisfaction of knowing when we've moved something, when we've accomplished something. But they do get the comments, they do read the papers, they do hear the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. So I do think in saying thank you to the Honourable Member for Edmonton Highlands for the contribution he's made, it is quite appropriate to acknowledge and say thank you to his whole family, his wife and his 2 sons, and his extended family, because a commitment from a leader is a commitment from the whole family, and it's a commitment which makes this province better and has made this province better. And I guess the only sad note is that he will still be bringing his humour to the debates in the House. He will still be annoying us with his persistent comments. But on the positive side, he will still be adding to the quality of debate, the quality of public policy in this province, and the quality of life in this province.
The Honourable Leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm tremendously honoured to stand up on behalf of the official opposition this afternoon to honour my friend and colleague from Edmonton Highlands, Norwood. And just to give you an idea of how well liked he is on our side, I had to arm wrestle the member for Airdrie and the member for Innisfail Sylvan Lake for the privilege of giving this speech today. Mr. Speaker, the member's service to his party, his constituents and his province has been truly exemplary. His leadership was always a reminder to me that politics is about people, standing up for people who otherwise wouldn't have a voice. He can leave his position as leader of the NDP knowing that his hard work, his courage and his tireless advocacy has made a real difference in the lives of many Albertans, and I know he will take great pride in that. Traveling the province with a person has a way of forging a bond, Mr. Speaker, and that's exactly what he and I did last fall. Throughout September and October, we debated each other on post-secondary campuses around the province. There were no holds barred. I talked about climate change and poverty. He talked about oil sands development and lowering taxes, and I loved every minute of it. The response we got was tremendous, to the point that we had to add debates at the request of other campuses and actually had to turn down some other requests because we were just too busy. During our debates, I got to see what has endeared him to Albertans over the course of his distinguished career: a depth of knowledge, quick humour, and an unwavering commitment to his principles and his constituents. Oftentimes I'd get strategic with him and I'd grill him about being too hard on us. I tried to reason with him that by attacking us too hard, it simply drives more votes to the Progressive Conservatives. His reply was always the same: if you're wrong on something, you're going to hear it from me. The member was also something of a mentor. Some might say a sergeant, others might say a sensei. For my colleagues new to the cut and thrust of being the opposition in the legislature, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank him on behalf of the members from Airdrie and Calgary Fish Creek for his assistance and support on their decision to cross the floor to the opposition benches. As new opposition MLAs, I know that they valued his perspective and his advice on adjusting to their new roles. Mr. Speaker, I'm sad the honourable member will no longer lead the NDP. I'm sad I won't see him on the campaign trail, but I am incredibly grateful for the time that he has graciously given me and for the friendship we have developed. From all your supporters in the Wild Rose official opposition, all the best, Brian.
On behalf of the Alberta Liberal Caucus, the Honourable Member for Calgary Mountain View.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, on behalf of the Alberta Liberal Caucus, it is a pleasure to rise, recognize and honour the departure from leadership of my eminent colleague of 9 years from Edmonton Highlands, Norwood. Though still a young man at 60, he is a man of no little wisdom, as I've discovered sitting just to the right of him in the legislature. He has a broad and deep knowledge of both progressive public policy and the human psyche, and he continues to champion the interests of working people. Mr. Speaker, I liked this man so much, I tried, as leader of the official opposition, to work with him. He spurned me. And we are still friends. Known by many in the House as the fastest lip in the ledge, he has distinguished himself beyond his satirical quips as a substantive and effective critic of government hyperbole and hypocrisy. Nor is he averse to colorful shots across the bow, as the Honourable Speaker frequently chides us all for. His oft-repeated quote or quip after opening prayer in the House is, "God save the government." A distinguishing feature, as is his unapologetic adherence to his party principles and positions. To be fair, Brian has also occasionally stepped beyond his comfort zone to cooperate with the Alberta Liberals on common goals. Not only is he effective in debate and repartee and question period, much to my envy, he was an early adopter of the new technology, now old, called Facebook and Twitter. No doubt he's now into the nether reaches of Tumblr, Snapchat, and Vine, whatever they are. For 25 years, he has represented the people of Edmonton either at the city or provincial levels and has gained the respect of colleagues across the political spectrum, his faithful constituents, and possibly even some from the union movement. Political rivalries aside, this is a man of principle, deeply committed to social justice. He has made, and I have no doubt will continue to make, extraordinary contributions to the public interest long term. And it has been my privilege, along with my Liberal colleagues, to work and learn from his leadership. On behalf of this caucus, our best wishes, Brian, in your next roles, and may your voice and values continue to sting those who do not hold fast to the long-term public interest of this great province and its people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, noting the time, I've received a note from the members for Calgary Varsity, Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, Calgary Foothills, who wish to extend their particular kudos to you in writing to you personally, sir. And they will be doing that immediately. In the meantime, let us conclude this round, unless there's anyone else with a burning passion to speak, by inviting the Honourable Leader of the... In conclusion, as I was saying, I would now invite the Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Opposition to make his comments in response.
Thank you very much. Well, I apologize, Mr. Speaker. I thought you were moving right on to question period. And I did want to thank all members of the House and yourself, as well as our table officers and the pages for a wonderful association, which is going to continue for at least a couple of years. But it has been an honour and a privilege to serve as leader of Alberta's NDP and to make so many wonderful friendships across the aisle. I'd like to thank my caucus as well for their wonderful support. Now, when I left City Council to run for this position as an MLA, some of the most enthusiastic backers were my opponents on City Council. The mayor was so excited that I was going on to provincial politics, and I get a little sense of that from the Premier as well. I would like to thank him, and we have had a long friendship going back to our university days, Mr. Speaker, and I remember that frat house that I boarded in, and it was, I was considerably less moderate in my university days than I am today, I might say, as probably was the Premier and some of his cohorts. But I was invited to move in, and I did because it was affordable for me. And then I discovered to my horror that it was the Tory frat on campus. And I was the after-dinner entertainment, Mr. Speaker. But I think that, and it certainly helped prepare me for this place as well. I would like to thank the Premier, and I'm very pleased that he has the opportunity to be the Premier, even if it is just for a few months. I think that is a wonderful opportunity for him, and I congratulate him very much on that, and thank him for his kind words. Now, the Leader of Her Majesty's Official Opposition has, as she said, become a good friend, and we did, I think, enjoy ourselves immensely on the 8 debates that we had around the province at different campuses. And I should just, not to be immodest, but of the 8, I managed to win 5. One was a draw, and she won 2. So if anyone would like some tips on debating the Leader of the Opposition in the next election, you know, for a fee, we can talk about it. She's been a very effective leader, and I did enjoy helping some of the people who had crossed the floor to the opposition, who had been cabinet ministers, to survive without servants. They had to do everything for themselves, and I know it was quite a shock, but they seem to have adjusted very well. And to the honourable member for Calgary Mountain View, I appreciate very much your words as well. And I think with respect to your offer to cooperate, it was more like a merger or a joining of some kind, and so it's nothing personal, as you know. But I am pleased that our working relationship with Liberals has improved considerably, and I appreciate all of these. Well, you're not trying to take us over anymore. Mr. Speaker, I know that the honourable member is a man of great principle, and that was evident in his public statements and actions before he ever got into politics. I did go and see him before he ran as an MLA to try and persuade him to run in the New Democratic Party, and unfortunately Kevin Taft had beat me to his house by about 2 weeks. So I regret that, but I appreciate very much the chance that we've had to work together, and we'll continue. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to be around for at least 2 more years as an MLA, if the government sticks to its law on election timing. We don't know. So I'll have lots of opportunities to interact with people and to continue my friendship and my work on behalf of my constituents. So I want to thank the entire House for this day. I do very appreciate it.